Random thoughts with John. I was just thinking about a research study that piqued my interest a long time ago back in college about fitness versus skill development. And what they were trying to find out is, does certain forms of exercise or movement, do they make you more physiologically fit, stronger, better stamina and so on, that allows you to, you know, build up a capacity with that? Or is it actually because of economic efficiency, which just basically means you perform the movement in a way that requires the body to use less fuel to do it. So you're just in a better line, better form, better distribution of force throughout the system, utilizing energy, just like, like a jump rope, that ballistic energy that you get in the calves. So you're just taking that concept through all forms of biomechanics to give you a pattern that is easier to perform. You don't necessarily get stronger, it just takes less energy so you can do more of it. And the study used hand bikes to test this, and they tested one limb versus the other. And I can't remember the exact details. This is 2012, 2013. If I look back thinking about that study, but the summary of it was that they didn't necessarily get more physiologically fit. They did, but the more significant variable was they became more economically efficient. And it just really nails home the fact that you become what you do, you become what you think about. And how do you climb a mountain? One step at a time. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It's just, how do you write a book? One word at a time, one day at a time. And the movement hygiene that I prescribe my clients is very in alignment with this, where I have a big old bucket to pull from as far as methods, exercises, mobilizations, whatever, stretches, breathing techniques to do for that specific person or for myself based on what my needs are. But it's just setting aside the time and doing something over and over and over. Swinging the hammer on the anvil, as I like to call it, makes you a blacksmith over time. You start out, you have no idea, and then you just over repetition, awareness, intention, and repetition. You're just focusing with your conscious mind on a task and doing it the best you can over and over and over. That technical competency that you gain is more of a reward that will pay off, expressed as mastery. And in the sense of movement, if you can pick movements, exercises, activities that mimic archetypal shapes that your body gets into regularly throughout the day, then you'll have better technical competency and economic efficiency at performing those daily activities because you practice similar patterns every single day. And that is the biggest win for people to take home. It's not about finding the perfect exercise, the perfect warm up, the perfect routine, the perfect program. It's just about fucking doing something, committing yourself to fucking doing it. Whatever it is, just keep doing it over and over and over. And don't worry about what the progress is and the expectations that you have. Just show up and do it. And that is why I preach do what you love and love what you do. If you're trying to force yourself to do CrossFit and you're a yoga person, fucking do yoga. It's movement, right? And we could break that down more. There's the masculine expression, high intensity, yang version of movement, which you could think of as working out. And then there's the more soft, restorative, feminine expression of movement, the yin. And both are great. You should do both. Work in as much as you work out. A working in practice and a working out practice are the two types of movement practices that I recommend to myself and my clients. So the takeaway: do something that you love to do over and over and over, and you'll naturally build skill and mastery within that. And because you love to do it, you'll keep doing it. So the skill will come, the competency will come, the economic efficiency will come. And try to find things to do in your movement practice that are similar to the most common shapes that you get into in your daily life. Or, as a side note, try to use shapes or practice shapes that help to counter any overused shapes you often practice in your daily life. For example, if you're a baseball player or an overhead athlete and you're taking your shoulder through high velocity overhead over and over and over, or you're, a basketball player, you're gonna want to make sure that you're restoring the certain joints and tissues that are getting beat up from your sport or your work, your job, whatever it is. If you're in a, for example, a lot of people, great relevance here is sitting at a desk, sitting in a chair. If you're overusing that pattern of passive hip flexion, passive fucking everything, you're going to adapt to that shape and be bad at other shapes. And people don't get injured when they're sitting down, right? They get injured when they're moving, right? Stretching, reaching, bending, going through active movement patterns. And so if you sit a lot, your movement practice should be standing, bending, crawling, rolling, all the things that you're not doing all day long that are common archetypal shapes of how the human physiology evolved. So find something that helps to balance out what you do too much of, and find something that you'll love to do, build competence in it, and try to have it mimic the things that you want to do within your day so you can have better economic efficiency doing so, which will reduce your risk of injury and improve your efficiency, which is what it's all about. Woof.